Hey, what's up, sports fans? It's your guy, the sports judge. Boston is back in the NBA Finals. Yes, they're going back to the NBA Finals. They rallied late again to win Game 4 and complete the sweep of the Indiana Pacers. There, there was clearly a calm and poise that Boston played with, particularly late in games. The issue, just from watching this series, and hear me out, is that the Celtics don't always show up when they need to, right? So for one quarter, you're getting consistent play or consistency from a Boston squad. The next quarter, you don't know who they are because looking at this series, they got outplayed, it seemed, for 3 quarters in two of these games against the Indiana Pacers. But in this series, I talked about it. Indiana could have still been alive if not for the turnovers that cost them in game one. They couldn't inbound the ball. Game two was close, a tight game. Jaylen Brown burns you with a three. Game three was absolutely heartbreaking because, like tonight, you had a fourth quarter lead, and what happens? You give the game away. You know, no lead was ever safe. The other thing is the Celtics had been here before. There had been a collective experience. It's their late game offense, their resilience, their never quit mentality. 3 times in the Eastern Conference Finals, they get it done. Big shot making, clutch plays, game changing plays that swung momentum in their favor. Derek White tonight, Jaylen Brown named the conference finals MVP doing his thing. Total team effort. It's a complete balanced team. This is who they've been all year. I think the question is, can they win it all? But this is who they've been all year. They've been the best team in the NBA all season long. We know what they can do in the regular season. They got superstars. They got depth. Two of the best wing players the game has to offer in Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. And how about their underrated two-way player, Drew Holiday, the former champion? He made big play after big play. You look at Indiana's roster, man, and it's filled with youth everywhere. I talked about the Pacers playing so well and being able to control the game for so long. And then in the last moment, they self-destruct, unable to finish. They can't close games. That's the problem with them. And part of that is because they're young. But that's got to be impressive in a sense, right? I'm looking at the positive, at the fact that Indiana played remarkably well against Boston. And so when you consider how young they are, to me, that says a lot about this team and what they can be. All three of these games that they lost, and obviously one got away from them, they weren't really in that game. The other 3 games, they were winnable games. I felt game one was actually one that they won. That's a game that they should have won. They didn't win. That was heartbreaking. All you had to do in that game was inbound the basketball. You couldn't. They didn't play with that same level of poise or intensity to match the Celtics in those late game moments. And that's what cost them. That's what hurt them. And in this series, it was what they were able to do in those moments, what the Celtics were able to do in those big moments. They made shots, they found the right person at the right time, they made great defensive plays to force turnovers. I mean, it wasn't just all on Indiana. Brown made a pair of plays in the final 65 seconds tonight. The block on Andrew Nembhard's drive to the rim. Then he gets into the lane and kicks the ball out to Derek White for what became the winning three-pointer with 41 seconds to go. A shot that put Boston ahead for the first time since the opening possession of the second half, that allowed the Celtics to escape from this series with a sweep and return to the NBA Finals for a second time in 3 years. But this time, they got to get it done. They know what's at stake. And I can't say enough about Indiana, man. But I can't say enough about Boston either. I mean, they held the Pacers scoreless for the final 3:33 of the game. Finished the game on an impressive 7-0 run to win it. And for the second time in 3 years, here we go. They're back in the NBA Finals. But I do think, back to the Pacers, I think a lot of people that were watching this series have gained a lot of respect for the Pacers with what they've been all season, what they were about all season. The connectivity, decisive playmaking. You had one of the best guards in the league, Tyrese Halliburton, who had one hell of a season. It's unfortunate that he suffered that hamstring injury, wasn't able to play in the last 2 games. And that's tough, being without your best player. But the Celtics were going to win the series regardless. The Celtics are just too much to handle. I mean, they have a lot of offensive firepower. They have different players that can show up each night. I just fear for them now, because now they're about to face a very good, most likely, the Dallas Mavericks. And I think they match up well against them. We talk about the storylines and all that good stuff. Boston matched up really well against them. It's going to be tough to beat the Celtics because they have multiple ball handlers, two-way players, and spot-up shooters. But the thing is, Boston is known for choking away a series, particularly when they get to the championship. When they get to the NBA Finals, that's when Boston tends to fold. That's when Boston doesn't show up. And that has held true, every time they've made a finals appearance, it seems. Jason Tatum's going to have to be big. Jaylen Brown's going to have to continue to do what he's doing, especially against we're talking about a red-hot Dallas Mavericks team, man, with stellar guard play. Everyone is comparing them to some of the best backcourt combos in the NBA. Some are even going as far to say that they have the best backcourt in NBA history. You're hearing it. People are saying this is the greatest backcourt in NBA history. I'm pumping the brakes on that. But man, you talk about the Celtics team, man. They got all the weapons. Derek White, man, he was everywhere for the Celtics in Game 4, and the all defensive side, of his game was on full display. He logged 5 steals and 3 blocks over his 42 minutes. I mean, just incredible stuff from these guys. Jaylen Brown, man, he's on a mission. This is a guy who's hungry for a championship. Jason Tatum, here's people talking about him not being this reliable superstar that can get the job done. Now this is their opportunity. This is the Celtics' opportunity. They are on the big stage again, and this here is their opportunity to finally cash in. Now they get some rest, they get time off before they get back to it, but they might come into the finals a little bit rusty because this is a game of rhythm, right? And you're feeling good right now. You're fresh. You all the momentum's working in your favor right now, and you want to get back out there on the basketball court as soon as possible. But then you get some time to rest. You get some time to get ready for the next series, and you go from there. But great win from the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics have swept the Indiana Pacers, and now they will await the winner of the Dallas Mavericks and the Minnesota Timberwolves series. And I think by tomorrow we will have a winner in that series, and I think it will be Dallas versus the Boston Celtics in the NBA Finals. Thanks for watching, everyone. Really appreciate the love and support. We'll talk very soon. Thanks for keeping up with the Sports Judge. Following my work and what I put out there. I really appreciate the love and support. If you like my stuff, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button. But we'll talk very soon. You guys have a great night. Peace.